I made a lot of mistakes in my 20s. Things I once thought were cool now look like lessons in disguise in my 30s. Looking back, I often wish I had someone to guide me or just tell me what not to do. In this video, I'm sharing the biggest mistakes I made, what I've learned from them, and what I wish someone had told me, in the hope that it saves you time, energy, and heartache if you're a girl figuring out your 20s. Mistake number one. The first mistake I made was celebrating myself only when I achieved something. I had this core belief that I am not enough unless I prove my worth. What that meant was I labeled myself worthy when I scored more than 80%. It was the most toxic belief I ever had, and it affected my health so much because I never really celebrated myself for being myself. Instead, looked at everything as I had to achieve in order to prove my worth. If I achieved it, I celebrated. If not, I would criticize myself and punish myself by not being in the moment and search for the next goal to achieve. Back then, I believed that only marks were everything and always strived for a good percentage to get the validation from parents, family, friends, and teachers. Now that I realize how it has affected other areas of my life, I have stopped attaching my self worth to my achievements. Both are important to me, but now I don't restrict my celebration when I achieve my targets. I realize that I am worth celebrating irrespective of what I achieve, and there's more to life than achieving goals. Let me know in the comments if you would like to know how I disassociated self worth from achievement, and I'll make a short video on the same. Mistake number two. I never used to put time or effort in dressing up. I genuinely loved baggy clothes way before they became a trend. Comfort was my priority. I believed that as long as my clothes were clean and neat, it was enough. Dressing up felt like a waste of time. But now, in hindsight, I understand why I avoided it. I didn't know I had PCOS back then. I didn't understand that the sudden belly weight was part of something deeper. And when your body starts changing without explanation, your identity starts to feel shaky too. So I hid under the loose t shirts and oversized clothes just to avoid my tummy being noticed. I still have a belly today, but the way I treat myself has changed. Instead of hiding, I now work with my body, not against it. I fold my sleeves, I experiment with color, I style my tee instead of letting it hang. I wear high waist jeans or tunics that flatter me but also keep me comfortable. I'm still not big on makeup, but now I pay attention to the small things, a swipe of eyeliner, a little lip tint, doing my brows, not to impress others but because it makes me feel good. When I started healing from PCOS, I realized something very important. Dressing up is not vanity, it's self respect. It's a daily signal to myself that I matter, that I'm showing up for me. It didn't happen overnight. It was baby steps. But now, every time I leave the house, I take that moment to get ready, no matter how I feel. And the truth, it lights me up. It shifts my mood, it shifts how I carry myself. I've noticed this pattern in women with high self worth. They care about how they show up because they care about themselves, regardless of their weight, mood, and milestones. So, if you are in your 20s, hiding in oversized tees like I did, I get it, but maybe this is your gentle reminder to treat yourself like someone who deserves to be seen. Mistake number three. I used to see crying as a sign of weakness. It took me years to bring this to my awareness. In the beginning of 2022, I realized that I don't feel emotions when my own sibling broke down in front of me and I stayed numb, unable to process what's happening. It was the most shocking encounter as I used to be the one who used to shed tears at the sight of injured animals or any emotional moment while watching movies, and here I was staring at my sibling, listening but not being able to process. That's when I realized I had forgotten how to feel. Somewhere along the way, I had convinced myself that emotions, especially crying, were a waste of time. In my 20s, I genuinely believed that if you cry, you are weak, that crying doesn't solve anything, that logic is the only solution to problems. So I ran away from tears, mine and others. I avoided situations where people got emotional. I didn't know how to hold space because I hadn't held space for myself. But oh, how wrong I was. It was only during journaling and deeper self work that I uncovered the mask I had worn for so many years, a mask of strength, a mask that told the world I had it all together. But beneath it was a girl who never felt safe enough to feel. Yes, crying doesn't fix a situation, but crying is your body's way of processing it. It's a release, a softening one, a regulation tool. Crying activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode. It calms you down after emotional stress and brings your nervous system back to balance. That's why we often feel lighter after a good cry. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. It's not drama, it's detox. So, to every girl out there who's holding it all in, let it out. You're not weak for feeling, you're human and healing. Crying is not bad, you ladies. It's the best way to release stress and heal your body. Mistake number 4. I used to think having only guy friends was cool. I had a lot of girlfriends growing up until college. That's when things shifted. There was this one best friend. We were close, but it came with rules. Don't talk to them, they are not nice. You can't be friends with her, I don't like her. At first, I went along, I didn't want to hurt her. But eventually, it started to feel suffocating. So I broke away from that friendship, and instead of just leaving her, I left female friendships altogether. I declared to myself, guy friends are better. Low maintenance, no drama, no rules. And it felt true just for a while. I could talk to anyone without being policed. I didn't have to worry about emotional landmines or unspoken expectations. But slowly, almost without realizing, I began drifting away from female pals. Not because I didn't love them, but because being around them felt unsafe after that one experience. I didn't want to be told who I could hang out with. So I chose the easier path and thought it made me strong. But now in my 30s, I see it so differently. Having female friendships is a blessing. Yes, guy friends are great, but avoiding girlfriends entirely because of one controlling experience, that's not fair to them or to me. Now I understand it wasn't girls are controlling. It was I didn't know how to set boundaries. And one person's behavior became the lens through which I saw all women. I won't say that I have a big gang of girlfriends now, but I do have a handful few with whom I have developed a strong bond over time. And I'm glad that I'm aware that it was the lack of setting boundaries that was the reason behind being controlled, and that female friendships can be beautiful too if one stops generalizing every experience. Female friendships aren't inherently messy. What's messy is when we carry old wounds into new spaces without healing them. I'm glad I did the work to unlearn that belief because no one understands a woman like another woman. And honestly, healing is having girlfriends who hype you up and hold you when life feels heavy. Mistake number 5, ignoring my irregular period cycles. It was one of the biggest mistakes I made in my 20s. I got my first period when I was 15, and for the first couple of years, things were fairly regular. But then, out of nowhere, I missed my period for 2 whole months. As a young girl, I was scared. I didn't understand what was happening. And when my period came the next month, I brushed it off. It slowly became my new normal, missing a cycle every 6 months or so. I remember asking my mom about it once, and she said, it happens sometimes. Even I had irregular cycles. Back then, I didn't question it, and neither of us really knew what was going on beneath the surface. So I kept ignoring it all through my 20s. It wasn't until my early 30s when I finally saw a gynec that I began to understand what was actually happening with my body. And honestly, that only happened because my husband encouraged me to get it checked out when I casually mentioned it to him. Looking back, I realized I ignored my irregular cycle for nearly a decade. That's a long time. And if you are in your 20s and dealing with the same thing, I'll say this from the bottom of my heart: please don't wait. Don't wait for it to become normal. Don't wait for someone else to tell you it's serious. If your body is giving you signals, listen to them. The sooner you get help, the sooner you can take action and reverse the damage caused by stress, lifestyle, and habits that may not be serving your health. That's all for now, ladies. These were some of the mistakes I made in my 20s. If you resonated with even one of the 5 lessons I shared in this video, drop a comment below. I would love to know what hit home for you. And if you would like me to share more lessons like this, should I do a part 2? If this video helped you feel a little more seen or supported, hit that subscribe button and let's walk this journey together.